Hello everyone, and today we have another news release. In this video we will discuss the results of the Tart Cup in Brno, where some of the new leaders of the Russian national team performed, discuss the results and who competed with them, and also discuss Linoy Ashram and why she refused to participate in the World Championship. Well, along the way we will discuss other news from the world of rhythmic gymnastics that happened recently. And of course, do not forget to subscribe to the channel as not to miss new and interesting video, and you can use the link in the description to support the development of my channel. Well, let's start with the mini news. So first, there was information that Belarusian gymnasts Alina Harnaska and Anastasia Salas were announced for the Grand Prix in Marabella, Spain. But Dina and Irina Viner are no longer going to this Grand Prix because Irina Viner decided that it was close to the World Championship. It is strange that it wasn't close earlier. The Grand Prix will be held from October 16th to 17th, and I think gymnasts from Russia will perform there in any case. And who knows, maybe Irina Viner will change her mind again and they will go. Instead, at that moment, Dina and Arina are planning to perform at the international tournament, which will be organized at the Palace of Rhythmic Gymnastics in Moscow. As for me, this is certainly a step on the same rake that our gymnasts are judged by our coaches, and in any case, this is always loyalty and gymnasts are getting used to the highest scores and to the fact that everything is counted for them. About the fact that at home tournaments, host gymnasts are rated higher, it already seems to me that there is no need to even remind us of this. We face this at every international competition, but of course, it's not for us to decide, but the decision looks strange for me. Meanwhile, the national championship ended in Brazil, where almost all the gold was taken by Bárbara Domingos. She was the second in the continental selection for the Olympic Games and failed to qualify, losing to Ruth Castilla from Mexico. Natalia Gaudia won the silver medal in the all-round, as well as gold in the ribbon and silver in the ball, and this was the last tournament for her. She announced her retirement after the Brazilian Championship. In 2016, Natalia took part in the Olympic Games, so she achieved very high results for her country. Ana Luisa Neiva became the bronze medalist in the all-round. She took part in the Junior World Championship and is now a young star of Brazilian rhythmic gymnastics. I think we will hear about her many times and we will definitely talk about her. But already now she is showing very good results at the senior championship. I think if we draw a parallel, then this is exactly like Lala Kramarenko in Russia. Very young, ambitious and claiming leadership in the country. By the way, Lala Kramarenko recently proved her desire to be first. In Brno, the Czech Republic, a Tart Cup was held, where she took first place in the all-round with a pretty good margin. In general, Lala looks very confident on the carpet, and despite the mistakes with the apparatus, it is very good in terms of elements, so I think the new rules will be a definitely benefit for her. But second was Daria Trubnikova, another leader of the national team, and it is very pleasant to look at her, with her long real gymnastics lines. While Daria lacks cleanliness in their performance of the elements, quite often she finishes the element dirty or goes off the axis, for which there are deductions in gymnastics, but I'm sure that she will be able to compete with Lala in the future. Well, another Russian gymnast, Irina Annenkova, won the bronze medal. In general, it was incredibly nice to see her at this tournament and that she continues to perform. After all, there is something especially pleasant about older gymnasts. The fourth at the Cup at Brno was Tatiana Volozhanina, a Bulgarian gymnast. The gap from the podium turned out to be as much as 7 points, and the top 5 was closed by Israeli gymnast Sonia Leifman. Also, the gymnast competed for medals of individual apparatus, so Daria Trubnikova won the final with a hoop, given that they scored the same points with Lala, but at the same time, Lala made a rather gross mistake with going behind the carpet, and also Daria fell from the element. By the way, I noticed that very often girls finish after music, and in theory there is also a deduction for this. Although I think it's clear that at this tournament there was not competition for a Russian national team. They are the main competitors for themselves and among themselves. By the way, an interesting point is that the girls of the Russian national team have already begun to connect the elements, apparently preparing for the new rules. And the turns at least look very interesting in the this format. The bronze medal in the final with a hoop was won by Sonia Leifman, an Israeli gymnast. The final with a ball and clubs was won by Lala Kramarenko. In the ball, Tatiana Volozhanina from Bulgaria won a silver medal, and Sonia Leifman won a bronze. Daria Trubnikova also made mistakes in the exercise with ball, so she couldn't climb the podium. In the clubs, Irina Annenkova won the silver medal, and Tatiana Volozhanina won the bronze. Tatiana Volozhanina also won a gold medal in the exercise with ribbon. Daria Trubnikova became the second. She had dirty moments in the ribbon. And Lala Kramarenko won the bronze, and she also made losses and mistakes, which didn't allow her to become the first. In general, I cannot say that this tournament was very intense, since there weren't many girls from the top athletes, but it was interesting to see how the fall season began and to see in what form are the closest leaders were after the Averins. So far the question is about stability, since everyone made mistakes. And if you remember, the stability sometimes in the Russian national team decides who would represent the country at the largest tournaments, then this is an important criterion. But let's see what will happen next. In fact, this is the first competition after the summer break. Well, now to the most discussed topic about the Linoy Ashram. In general, as I have repeatedly said, the conversation about the Olympics will follow us for a long time, and we will discuss it for a long time, since every such news is now sensational and try to turn it over so that it is convenient for each side. So there was information that the Israeli national team will not take part in the World Championship, including Linoy Ashram, the Olympic champion. According to the Federation of Israel, the entire Israeli national team, including Linoy Ashram and Nicole Zelikman, will not participate in the World Championship, as they are racing after the Olympics. And the decision on this was made even before the Olympics and has nothing to do with the result in Tokyo. The federation also said that Linoy will return to the training only after a week, and in the meantime she's resting, having fun, traveling and communicating with friends and family. But Averins sisters, as far as we know, have been training in the gym for several days, and it is unlikely that Averins sisters were less tired. Just the Olympics didn't end the way that they wanted, so it's not surprising that they still want to prove that they are the best. But Linoy exceeded her plans, so the choice towards rest and not training is also clear. After the Olympics, Artur Dalalayan, Nikita Nagorny, David Bilavsky and Denis Zaplazin will not take part in the World Championship of Artistic Gymnastics. For similar reasons, they also need a rest and a break. Regarding the news, I really like how Yana Kudryavtseva spoke out, reminding that it took her a year after the Olympics to recover mentally, since the Olympic cycle is very difficult, given that in this case it lasted for 5 years. Of course, those who believe that Linoy didn't deserve to win will immediately write and say that she was scared and afraid to embarrass herself, and everything in a similar format, of course, and these comments include insults. Well, there are those who agree that she needs to rest, and the arguments of the men's gymnastics team, who also won Olympic gold, and the words of Yana Kudryavtseva support this side. Irina Viner, of course, spoke about this, and she said that she was waiting for this. Well, I decided to remember about who and how participated in the World Championships after the Olympics, and in particular the Olympic champions. Naturally, we shouldn't forget that this year the gap between the Olympics and the World Championship is very small, and there was definitely no such thing in my memory, so you need to make allowances for this. By the way, even before the Olympics, we all discussed the Averins sisters after the Olympics would rest and wouldn't go to the World Championship, and we even wondered who would see there and dream about Lala Kramarenko, Ekaterina Selesnyova and other young gymnasts would step up there, but we will see the Averins sisters again. Whether it's bad or good, it's probably not for us to judge. So for girls and for Averins fans, this is of course a big benefit. By the way, you can write your opinion in the comments. Are you happy that we will see Dina and Arina at the World Championship at the end of October? But for now, to the memories. In 2016, Margarita Mamon won the Olympics, and she didn't compete at the World Championship after the Olympics. After the games, she ended her career. At the previous Olympics, Evgenia Kanaeva became the Olympic champion. In 2013, she didn't compete at the World Championship championship after the games, she also ended her career. In 2008, Yevgenia also won the Olympics, although in 2009 she collected all the gold at the World Championship, but the truth was that the World Championship was a year later and she was still very young gymnast. In 2004, Alina Kabaeva became the Olympic champion, and at the World Championship in 2005 she didn't take part, although the Olympics were in her last start in her career. But Irina Cheshina, who became a silver medalist at the World Championship a year later and was only the third. Well, the last Olympics that we'll remember is 2000. Yulia Barsukova became the champion here, and in 2001 she also didn't take part in the World Championship. So with Linoy Ashram, it is a very common practice that gymnasts performing at the Olympic Games do not participate in the next World Championship. Well, considering that it is only a few months away, and the fact that Dina and Arina participate is probably not really good idea, at least in terms of their health and negative effect on the body, but in any case we will support and worry for them. I'm waiting for your opinion in the comments on this whole situation, and we will see you in the next video. And remember that I love you all very much, and bye bye.